I'm going to show you how to review a potentially confusing nomination. This is a bench in a park, and I'll tell you how I've already kind of reviewed this. But I click on the picture. It says Buddy Bench. I don't know if that's a sign or if that's just a painted square. I can't read it here. So I can see it's looks like a permanent bench. I'm going to skip voting here because this is for the entire submission, not for the photo, and I haven't made up my mind on this one yet. So here's the title and description. Buddy Bench. Grab a buddy and take a seat on the buddy bench. I mean, as a title, that's fine. I will give it 5 stars just for the title and description. Now I have to look at the supplemental because this is what tells me why they're nominating this in the description in the text of the supplemental, but also in the photograph, it gives me enough detail that I should be able to figure out where this bench is located. So from this, it appears to be in the grass somewhere, next to some kind, or close enough that there's some kind of red building in the background. I don't know what those stones might indicate. So that's the location I'm seeing. What they tell me about the location is that it's located in Castle Park, which has many things to offer. There's a dog park, a playground, trails through the woods, and other fun outdoor areas to explore! The bench overlooks the play area and has a great view of the forest. So technically, telling me about the dog park, the playground, the trails, and other fun outdoor areas to explore is irrelevant to this bench. What's relevant to this bench, number 1, is that it is located in a park, but 2, that it overlooks the play area, because that's important of like where it's located and why they've decided they think that this is a good submission. So now I'm going to the map. First of all, it's a good thing that it's in Google. It shows it in green. So that is a good indicator that it's in a park. If I look down at the other things that are nearby, so if I click that dot, the next closest thing is Castle Park Pavilion. If I click that thing, it's some kind of little log hut. So I do have an indication that this is most likely in a park. If I turn on satellite and I scroll down, I don't see the bench on satellite. It's a small object. I might not see it on satellite. Do I see that red building? Well, there's the little collection of stones. Possibly there's some trees obscuring. If I come back up here, yeah, it looks like that building's under trees. So it's possible that it is located there. Or now I see there's a building. There's a thing right here that looks like that's probably, oh yeah. So more than likely they're submitting it here, but it's probably right here. So what I can do for that is suggest a new location, drag this over here, because this is actually where I think this is located rather than where it was. And now that I've taken the point off of it, I see nothing where they had it located before. That looks like possibly some kind of fire pit or just some kind of well or something. That's not a bench. That is a bench where I've just located the pin. So here's the first indication they mislocated the bench, possibly intentionally to try to get a new stop. I don't know. So now it automatically puts a 5-star on location because I've put it where I think it is. Now I come to historical cultural significance. Well, I'm going to rate that a 2 because benches don't really have much significance. Is it visually unique? That means, does it stand out from its environment? If I was walking by, would I have a hard time finding this bench? No, I could find the bench. I'm going to rate it a 4. Safety access. Can pedestrians safely access thing? Yes, it's a bench. It's meant to be sat on. And then, of course, it's asking, what is it? It's a bench. I'm going to call it no for the other things. Okay, now come back up to this thing up here and say, should I accept this? The reality is, they didn't do a good enough job explaining to me why a bench meets any of the criteria. The criteria are that it needs to be a great place to be social, to exercise, or to explore. I'm not exploring anything here. I'm not exercising here, which sometimes I might accept it on that criteria if it was along a walking trail. This one is not along a walking trail. We see no walking trail here listed on the map. So that would leave this as a place to socialize. I don't think just writing buddy bench makes this a place that people are going to go out into the middle of the field and hang out. Hey, I'll meet you at the buddy bench. I think if nobody's going to make that statement of I want to meet you at the buddy bench. So in this case, I'm actually going to reject this, which I do that by clicking the 1 star, go to Wayspot criteria, and unfortunately, it's not very descriptive, but it says other rejection criteria, and it says use this for nominations that do not meet all of the acceptance criteria or meet any other rejection criteria. And then in here in the comments, I'll write, this isn't going to go back to the submitter. I'll go back and say, does not meet any criteria. So that is going to go, only Niantic sees those comments. So what that does is that's kind of a protection for me as a reviewer. Whereas if this gets rejected and they decide, hey, this should have been accepted, and they appeal it, and Niantic looks at it and says, yeah, we would appeal that. I mean, we would accept that. Let me go back and look at all the people who rejected this. They're going to look at why did someone reject it and say, well, okay, yeah, that they did a thorough evaluation, so I'm not going to give them any punishment or criticism because it is a subjective thing, and this person reviewed it honestly and said it doesn't meet any criteria. So now I'm going to submit and finish.